Hello, I would like to welcome you all to our forecasting inventory project. The I team in this project was myself, Elijah Baxter, Emily Long, Gavin Hooks, and Idana Vadia. Our partnership in this project was Bath and Body Works LLC, and they provided us with a problem. They needed us to create a graph on either on some sort of program that would show them their past ordered and sold data that could help them determine which product they need to drop to get better sales. A small part in this project, but it is very important because it keeps our team organized, is our team roles. So my role was to keep the team on track because I was the process checker and timekeeper. Idan was the team leader, so he basically told everybody who needed to do what assignment and who needed to work together so we could get all our work done. Emily Long, she was our secretary. She kept all our work organized, and so we knew where to find it. And Gavin was our editor, which he would do our grammar checking and make sure everything was correct on our assignments. So the next part in our project was to create a no need to know chart to gather our thoughts as a team to make sure we know what to research. So we knew we needed to make a technical report and a slide presentation, which were the two big main goals at the end, besides the actual goal of the project. And we knew we needed to discover new patterns and discover the patterns in the data they gave us. We needed to analyze the data they gave us, and we knew we were going to use Excel to do this. So what we needed to know was what will the product need to be kept? What I'm trying to say is what. Yeah, the criteria of the product. Like what product has per se if the company ordered too much of a product, do they need to stop buying the product because they're not getting as many sales for it? We had to research how to forecast inventory data, how we were going to communicate this, for what formulas we were going to use for our spreadsheets, and we needed to find out what the consumer wanted by analyzing the data that we done.
So the client gave us 5 products, 2 candles, 2 foaming hand soaps, and 1 hand gel, and wanted us to make a decision on which product to discontinue. And we got the 2012 inventory data, and we received 5 separate spreadsheets of those products. And there's no quick and efficient, accurate way you can decide which product you want to discontinue based on glancing at this. You'll have to look back and forth between 2, 3, or more products at a time. So you'll lose track of all the inventory, all the information you're trying to obtain. So from the 5 perpetual inventory sheets, we isolated the amount of inventory the client sold of the product. We did this with the order data as well. Consolidating it into one sheet makes it easier than having to go back and forth between 5 different sheets to determine which product you want to discontinue. You can't tell which product is doing good overall. You might be able to tell on a specific date that a product is doing well, but you can't look at the overall trend the product is heading into to determine which one you want to discontinue for the future. So to determine which product is going to be less beneficial to sell, we forecast sales into 2013. We use Excel to forecast sales and use the trend function to get 2013 sales. This is our function. We used We forecast the data into 2013 to look into the future, to see which product is going to benefit the client and which product will not benefit them. We did this because we don't want to get rid of the product that will benefit them in the future. We want to get rid of the product that's gonna have the least amount of sales and the least amount of revenue. So to help the client easily and accurately decide which product to discontinue, we graphically represented the 2012 sales and 2013 forecast sales of each of those 5 products.
Okay, so these were our individual prototypes. The reason why we do these is to gather every one of our ideas into this project, and so we all just made our own graph, did it in our own ways. And something good about this is you can realize what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. So something that we said we probably shouldn't do is, let's see on Gavin's graph, it's no problem, but he put the received data, which is not really data we needed to know at the time. So we kind of excluded that. But something good we realized was that me and Eli's graphs, we made like separate sheets for each graph, which meant that we only have one line in each one and you have to keep going to different sheets to do it. And we thought that was a good way. But then we saw Emily's and Gavin's and we realized maybe a better way is to actually have it on one graph and color code it, which would make it a lot better and more efficient and easier to use. So that's why we do these, is to realize the things that we can do better. And then for the team prototype, we have to put it all together. And so this was our team prototype sold. We also have a ordered team prototype. But for our sold team prototype, as you can see, it's all color coded, and there's the graph, the history of the products that were sold, and the forecasting that we made based on their history. And so this was our order. It almost looks the same, but that's just because when you order something, then you sell it afterwards. So it's basically the same thing. It's all color coded. The first part with all the lines moving up and down is their history, and then after that, it's what we forecasted. And so this was our inventory products. So we actually went about this, instead of just going by how they sold the product or how many they sold, we went off the profit margin they had. So let's say you sold something, you sold a lot of a product, but you ordered way more of it. So even though you sold a lot, there's also a big profit margin between that. And the way we determine this is by looking at the percentage. As you can see, the 2 with 85% would be the best to use just because that's the biggest profit margin. So you would make, the bottom number is the total gross pay you would make, but you would only actually get 85% of that. So the best one would be to those 2 last ones, because we get 85% of those numbers.
Okay, testing protocol, we need to create a spread. Where's the speaker? We create a spreadsheet to try and forecast the data. We had the equipment we had to use was Dell Latitudes and Google Sheets. We tested it on at least 3 people, make sure see how user friendly it was. And we used a scale of 1 to 10 to see how user friendly it was. And from testing it, we got a 7 out of 10. And after that, we had to document the testing results. And because of the profit margin for the Mediterranean Lemon Pocket Hand Gel was leaked, so that was the one we thought we should discontinue. If that happened by the works and discontinue. Here are the sources we used. Any questions?
Yes, Shane.
I have a couple.
Okay.